MJF and Kenny Omega added their entry to the Match of the Year conversation last night on AEW Collision, which was a one-match show. But that one match more than delivered. And I'm going to have to rewatch them at the end of the year, but I think they may have managed, possibly, to edge out the two FTR Bullet Club Gold matches in July as the best match in the history of the show. It's close, though. Best singles match for sure. And it wasn't just one of the best TV matches of the year, it was one of the best matches of the year. And with a clean finish. That I was not expecting. That was a surprise. They did have Don Callis come out towards the end for the distraction, but it did not lead directly to the finish. It wasn't like a distraction roll-up or Callis, hit Omega or Takeshita jumped him from behind. I think they wanted you to think that, it was a tease to make you think that something was going to happen and then it didn't. Although that doesn't mean they can't use that as an out for Kenny if they want to. They gave these two 30 minutes with limited commercial interruption, only a couple of 90-second picture-in-picture breaks. MJF busting out a Fosbury flop is not something I had on my bingo card for 2023. But then again, neither was him doing kangaroo kicks. It's been a weird year for MJF. But when this year is over, and we talk about the wrestler of the year, I think of Bryan Danielson, I think of Will Ospreay, but how do you not include MJF in that conversation? And the matches that he has had with Danielson and Adam Cole, and now Omega, and in all probability, the match that he and Jay White are about to have in a few weeks, right? Because we're not done yet. They brought Jim Ross out to call the main event with Tony Schiavone and Nigel McGuinness. Kevin Kelly took a hike. And JR was on his game. He was on his A game. That was as good as he sounded on TV in a while, calling one of these matches. Yes, they threw the match out there on free TV with 3 days of build when they could have promoted this as a pay-per-view main event, but they had to do the match last night because the story was MJF passing Omega as the longest reigning AEW champion of all time, which he will do on Halloween. He will do that on Tuesday. He will take that top spot now from Kenny Omega. But they had to do the match on Collision, otherwise the story doesn't work. And they've already done a good job of setting up multiple challengers for MJF other than Omega. He's got Jay White to deal with at Full Gear. He's got Samoa Joe breathing down his neck, wanting to be his friend, so long as he promises him a rematch for the title. Wardlow is running around with MJF written on his wrist tape like a jilted lover. So he's got enough opponents to keep him busy for the next few months. And when the show was over, with Omega down in one corner, MJF sitting down in the other corner, MJF took the mic and he put over Omega. And he put over the Bucks, and he put over Cody Rhodes, and he put over Tony Khan. And said without them, there is no AEW, and there is no MJF. He told a nice story about being backstage in an indie show many years ago. I think he said it was Five Borough Wrestling. I used to go to those shows. They were over here in Brooklyn. Although I don't remember if he was on any of the shows that I went to. Maybe he was. But he told a very nice story about being on the same show with Kenny Omega, who gave him the time of day backstage when he didn't have to, and so he's never forgotten that. And he's still claiming that he doesn't know what he is going to do in the bidding war of 2024, but he said what he does know is that when he gets the opportunity to wrestle the best bout machine, Kenny Omega, it tends to sway his opinion a little bit. That's cute. That's cute that he still wants us to believe that he hasn't already re-signed to stay with AEW. That's adorable. And then he handed the microphone off to Kenny. And this is why that win last night was so huge for MJF. He put that man over on the microphone as well, if not better, than he did in the ring. He said for years, he was the best bout machine, but he was sad because he knew that his time would be up one day, and there was no one to take his place. There was nobody to take that spot from him as the best bout machine. But now he smiles because he realizes that MJF is that man. He's the real deal. And he says, I was a little salty about him taking my spot as the longest reigning AEW champion, but not anymore. Because MJF has earned his respect. He has proven that he deserves to be in that spot. And as he was saying this, as he was talking, they cut to a shot of MJF's face, and you could tell just how much that meant to him. to hear that from someone like Omega. That meant more than any championship. So that was a great moment. And MJF needs to find 3 partners to take on Bullet Club Gold on Dynamite this Wednesday. Omega should be one of them. Samoa Joe should be another one since he's offered to be Max's friend. And then there's one spot left. I think that could go to Roderick Strong possibly.